Oh, right, I'm going to show you what I did to set up my Iflight Chimera 4 in betaflight. I didn't do much. I really didn't do much. But I'll show you what I did. So in this, because I'm running the 3800 kV motors that they suggest for freestyle, because I'm not really into super long range flights, but I did enjoy the price point of this quad. Pretty cool. I lowered this motor idle throttle value. I lowered it by like two or three numbers, just so that when it idles, the quad doesn't feel like it's still like gaining altitude or whatever. It feels less floaty. I don't know if that's a term, but it feels less floaty. And that's all I changed in here. Don't change anything else. Everything comes, and unless you're receiver, serial-based receiver, S-bus, obviously, and then you pick what you're running. Usually, you just hit S-bus, but I'm running Crossfire, so that's how I did that. PID tuning, don't really change anything for your first couple flights, just leave it as is until you get the hang of it. And when you start to feel it, you can start to change your rates here, Start to play with your rates first. And then increase or decrease the amount of degrees by changing your rates, your RC expo and your RC rate. Play with it a little bit after your first couple flights, but in your first couple flights, leave it stock. Receiver, depending on what receiver you have, be Free Sky, Spectrum, Crossfire, Ghost. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff now. Modes, you want to set up your mode switches, which is really easy to set up. I don't have my receiver turned on right now, but you want to have your arm, and I always just take away angle because I never use it because I'm not really racing, and I just have horizon set on my aux 2, which is above my arm, and I just have it set to the middle position, so if the switch is up all the way, it's in acro mode, and if it's down all the way, the second position switch, it's in flip over after crash. So one switch, flip over after crash, horizon mode, and acro mode. There's nothing for acro mode on here when the switch is in a position that's either not horizon or not flip over after crash, is acro. I have a pre-arm set just because I like to have a pre-arm set. Anyways, that's it. Pre-arm, beeper, and I have the beeper set to the pre-arm. So when I hit the pre-arm, it's just a beeper. Fail-safe button, which I have for my GPS rescue, but I haven't really completely set up the GPS rescue yet. They don't set it up for you, just so you know. Don't think that your GPS rescue is going to work unless it works. It won't work unless you set it up. Motors tab, you don't have to do anything here. This is just to test the motors. On-screen display. And for your on-screen display, I have a bunch of stuff because I have the GPS kind of set up. I just don't have the rescue set up. Anyways, that's what all this is. What you really just want is your battery voltage. I have the cell battery voltage also, and your RSSI or your LQ, or you could have them both. I have them both. So like I said, you want to have, I have my average cell, but you want to have your battery voltage always, and or your link quality or your RSSI. You can have them both, it doesn't matter. And all your warnings on, obviously, like your low voltage, it tells you to land. Now this part, video transmitter. This is the big one. Your video transmitter controls your output power for your video, whether or not how far you can go or penetrate through trees or walls. When it comes, it's going to be set at 25. You're going to want to change it to get more range for your video. Depending on what receiver you use, if you have a Crossfire, set it to max. If you're running an XM Plus, just go with like 100 or 400 because you're not going to exceed the video quality, exceed the video range with your receiver. So if you're just starting, use 100 or 400 because this 800, if you're not like actually using your quad, if you just have it powered up, it will overheat your quad 100% damage. You don't want that. Anyways, after you do that, you can change your channel. This is where you change your channel, and then your band. I stick to race band, just stick on R. It's easy for me to remember, and my quads all have similar channels but different. But R, and then 5, 800, power, you can choose whatever power you want, and then you save. It's very important that you save before you click any of these other things. So if you change anything, you want to save before you click anything else, okay? And then just go through everything else at the end. Make sure, you know, everything's working great. Notice that your quad is forward, backward, yeah, doing what it's doing. And then you're good. Like I said, the only things I really changed in this configuration tab was this motor idle throttle value. I lowered it by like 2 or 3 numbers. And you don't want to go below 5, because if you go below 5, your motors might start desyncing. You might start getting like motor stops in midair. When that happens, your quad will probably fall out of the sky. It's happened to me before. Not with this quad, but with a different one. Anyways, I've never had that happen with this. Lower it just a little bit, gives it that nice, you know, droppy feel, you know, freestyle feel. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't float as much because this quad was designed to be a long range quad, you know, to not be in high throttle movements. It's meant to just cruise around, and at that low throttle, at the higher throttle value, idle, you can just cruise around on like a lower throttle. But when I'm doing freestyle and stuff, I want to be able to go to 0 throttle and have the quad basically fall out of the sky where I want it to, instead of kind of like slowly decrease because of the throttle idle value. Anyways, that's all I changed. And I configured my OSD to my liking. You can configure your OSD to your liking and do whatever you want with it, you know what I mean? Play around. Video transmitter, band, channel, power. After you change this, make sure you hit save and then hit disconnect. That's it. That's all I did. There's another way to change your output power for your VTX and your channel and your band through your on-screen display. What you have to do with your radio controller is yaw to the left and pitch forward. That will bring up your menu display, kind of like a betaflight settings display. And my cat just fell trying to get up a wall. Anyways, you go to features, VTX, and then there's your band, there's your channel, which is your frequency, and you can change the output power, which I'm going to show you how to change the power real quick. You toggle with your roll stick, either back or forward, to get the power to go up or down. So I'm going to go and change it to 100 milliwatts of output power. You can choose between 25, 100, 400, and 800. You want to set, and then you want to go back, and then back again. Save and exit. Save and reboot. It's really important. You want the quad to do a power cycle so that when it powers up, it knows that new output power. And then that's really it. I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how to change it again, just so you know. And if you stayed till the end, here's a little freestyle rip from the Iflight Chimera 4.